All right, guys, I just want to do a little side note here. I kept saying that I don't know what it mean when Abraham saying tis not good for my son. But Abraham had one son, Isaac, and he loved Isaac, and he needed Isaac there with him because he had so much going on. You know, his wife was going on. He didn't want the servant to take Isaac away. He did not, because he said this is not good for you to take my son. He only had one, and he wasn't gonna let that son go nowhere. You know, he said his son's staying here with me. You go over there and bring the wife here, because he only had one, and he loved Isaac. You know, he's leaving Isaac whatever he got, because it took them so long to have the one son. So he sort of cherished him. You know, that's why the Lord told him, bring your son up here for the sacrifice. He wanted to see if he loved his son more than he loved him. And he found out that he did not, that he loved. God wanted to see that he cherished that son so much that he would put the son in the place of him. You know, would he bring this son up here as a lamb to me? You know, so he did that to him. But he loved that son more than anything. And that servant kept saying, let me take your son with me to find out. He said, no, you can't take my son with you to do nothing. He said, you bring the wife back over here to my son. He said, you know, in other words, this is my only son. He said, it would not be good. Because he said, in other words, it would not be good if something happened to my son. That's basically what he's saying. You don't want somebody to harm my son because I'm coming to get him. You know, because he only had one. And then Rebecca was the one who ended up with Isaac, you know. And this was from, you know, he had a brother named Nahor way back where he was raised. This was from the line of his brother. So he said, I want you to get a good seed. I want you to get a seed of where I come from my line. I want you to go back and find a good woman, good bread, you know. And so the woman, let me tell you, when he prayed about getting Rebecca, he said, this woman is going to get water for my camels, because he knew that most women, when they go draw the water, they're going to feed the man. They're going to feed the man that need the water, but they're not going to feed the animals. They get a person some water, you know, and then the person will have to go get their own water for their camels or whatever. They just, you know, because it was a strong thing to find somebody to say she had a servant's heart. She wanted to do well for everybody, for the whole group of people. And this is what he liked. The servant that went there, he was a servant of Abraham, you know. So he said, this woman is going to be a good servant. She's going to take care of everybody. And she did. She took care of him. She took care of the camels. Everybody in the whole thing that was traveling got water. And he said, my Lord, whoever can do this thing for me, whoever can serve well and do this thing that we all shall be fed and have our thirst quenched, that's going to be the one that I'm going to pick. Because see, he was a servant. The servant went to pick the wife. So the servant was looking for somebody with a servant's heart. And Rebecca was happy and gracious and glad to do the thing. You know, she didn't say, well, I give you some water. Then he said, well, can you feed my camel? And she said, oh, okay, I guess I'll do it. She wasn't like, she was like, sure, I'll be glad to help you and do what I have to do. You know, I'll be glad to take care of you guys, give you what you need. And the way that she answered right on that, yeah, I'll do whatever I have to do. He said, this is her. He got excited. When she said that in such a voice where she was gracious and kind and wanted to do this without somebody saying, can you please help me? And she's like, oh, well, you know, she wasn't like tired at the fact that she knew she got to go down there to feed all these camels, you know. She was glad to do it. She even offered to do it. Before he even asked, she said, would you like for me? I can go ahead and do this for you. Before he even said, my camels need water. You know, he said, can I have a little water? She said, sure, I'll even feed your camels too. He was like, that's she is? He said, that's her. He said, that's her. He said, she didn't offer to do the thing I was going to ask her to do. She offered to do it. So that was the wife. And he even asked God. He said, God, I believe this. He said, this feels like the one right here. And after she got through doing all of that, the gold and everything was, she was blinged out. She was blinged out. And she was like, she ran home to tell everybody, the man who I gave water gave me all of this bling bling right here, you know. And little did she know, she was blinged out for a reason. She was getting ready to get married. So, you know, that was a very good story. I love stories like that. She had a servant's heart, which means that when she married Isaac, she was going to take care of him. She was going to serve him well and take care of her house and her home or whatever she had to do. And so this is why the servant said, she must do this for me. But he was going to ask, you know, what she do. But she just went out and offered, of course, I'll do this for you and I'll give you water for whatever. You know, she's already did everything. He was like, oh my goodness, this is, and you know, even the servant said, he had to praise God because Abraham told him. Abraham said, this is preordained. This has been already spoken of from my Lord. He said, this has been preordained for my life, that I would have a son, my son would do this, and then I would leave an heir. He said, this already been preordained. He told the servant. So when the servant seen the thing coming to pass that his master spoke about, he told, you know, Rebecca's father that my master spoke and told me this would happen. You know, he said, I didn't believe this thing would happen. The servant didn't think it would happen that way. But when it did, he bowed down himself. He said, I got to give God some glory. He said, just like my master told me, it's exactly how it's happened. He said, I got to praise God, you know. But he was telling her family about it, and they were like, we don't know about all of that. But, you know, you could take her for your wife. They was like that, you know. But it's amazing to watch the way that God answers the prayer and the working of the prayer and the faith. And that's what this is all about. So anyway, I just wanted to go back to tell you guys about, he didn't want his son taken because he only had one. And Rebecca's heart was large. She had a servant heart. And that's what got the gold for her. That's what gave her husband, because she was not holding back on the love that she felt for people. She had a love in her heart. So anyway, guys, I'll talk to you later. Bye.